love is in the air for better or for worse. In these couples' cases, for worse. Today we cover the types of romance that one could never and should never have even conceptualized. 10. Rogue Nito, aka Rogue and Magneto. They're coming in at number 10 because at least they're both people, they're not related, and not a founding father. The bar is in hell, but I believe the devil is actually dancing with it. Really, at the end of the day, people had an issue with this pairing because it was just weird. In some situations, he's like a father figure to her because he is much older than her. He knew her when she was a minor. That's definitely not a great foundation, but also Rogue belongs with Gambit and it's disrespectful to have it any other way. 9. Aunt Octopus, Aunt May, and Dr. Octopus. Doc Ock wasn't even interested in Aunt May for Aunt May. He was only after her mysterious Canadian nuclear reactor island that she somehow inherited. The nerve of men. But imagine Peter comes home one day and one of his worst enemies is sitting at the dining table. Spider-Man stops the wedding, of course, but they still made it all the way to the altar. 8. Scarlet Silver, Wanda and Pietro. Yes, they are siblings, and yes, everyone hated it. It was one of the worst parts of the Ultimate Universe that haunts Reddit forums to this day. Also, the scene where their relationship was like heavily implied featured Wolverine spying on the pair from the bushes, and he was also implied to be their actual biological father. He had an affair with Magda behind Magneto's back. Truly, the implied nature of the Ultimate Universe is some of the most heinous material ever written. 7. The founding sorceress, Clea and Ben Franklin. There's a lot to unpack with this one. We got time travel, manipulation, magic, cheating, a potential false identity. We are one evil twin away from days of our lives. So Doctor Strange and Clea ended up on a ship carrying Ben Franklin. Not important why, but they're jumping through time and Clea is left on the ship with Ben Franklin and they get to know each other by candlelight. This was retconned later to be an evil sorcerer, so not actually Ben Franklin, but like Clea did think it was Ben Franklin, and that is a way more interesting choice, honestly. 6. Pink Wolverine, the Pink Lady and Wolverine. This one's strange because like, how did he do it? The Pink Lady kind of reads a very abstract concept. She has a human-ish form, but she's an interdimensional being bonded to a pink mink and only comes out when exposed to oxygen, so clearly Wolverine's up for anything. 5. Wolf Hulk, Stargod and She-Hulk. This one was wild because they got married and they didn't like each other, and that is not even an exaggeration. Like, She-Hulk realized after the marriage that her feelings towards Stargod were influenced by outside parties, and she didn't really like him, and he only liked the human side of her and wanted her to de-Hulk to Jennifer, which is something that she didn't want to do. So truly, it was a marriage of dislike, plus he's half wolf, which is its own beast to tackle, and on top of that, he's the son of J. Jonah Jameson. Like, please pick a struggle. 4. Constant Shark, John Constantine and King Shark. Now, it's not like completely wild to see, especially for the likes of John Constantine. King Shark does have like a semi-human body. He's not completely a shark and isn't really that far off from the Little Mermaid. I wish so much that we could see John Constantine's Hear Me Out cake because I know that he would take it. He'd make Venom seem like a logical choice for that trend. Number 3, Superman and Supergirl. Unfortunately, I'm not kidding. This diabolical pairing is a result of early comics tomfoolery. Supergirl was trying to get Superman a girlfriend, and a series of, mishaps and missteps led to her finding essentially her clone to date Superman. When that relationship inevitably also failed, Superman decided to reveal that if he were to fall in love, it would be with someone like Supergirl, but they can't do that because Kryptonian law forbids cousins from falling in love. I don't know what was going on over at DC headquarters at the time, but it was evil, and there is an alternate universe where the pair did in fact get married, but luckily they were not cousins in that one. 2. Supergirl dating her horse. I've talked about this bizarre pairing before, and if it makes you feel any better, she didn't know that her boyfriend was her horse. See, Comet used to be a centaur. A spell gone wrong led to him becoming a horse like 90% of the time, and a human whenever a comet enters the solar system. He decided not to tell Supergirl that he was her horse because he thought that the secret would come in handy. Truly, that's probably the chillest part of this agreement, but yeah, Supergirl dated the human side of Comet. Happy to report that Supergirl is not in fact the final boss of horse girls in that regard. But number 1, you might wonder how we could possibly beat Supergirl. It turns out the whole super family are freaks because Jimmy Olsen married a gorilla. Okay, listen, Jimmy didn't want to marry the gorilla. There were a series of unbelievable circumstances, as there often are with early comics, that led to this union. Bruna the gorilla was a goddess to this group, and she loved movies, specifically King Kong, so when she saved Jimmy's life, she imprinted on him basically, and the group was like, great, the goddess picked her mate, and and they have to get married. Superman ended up marrying them. Jimmy suffered until he worked out a way to get a gorilla divorce by having an animal throw him off a cliff into Superman's waiting arms. For better or for worse, Jimmy Olsen has unrivaled game and a gorilla ex-wife. Bruno went on to marry Gorilla Grodd. Grodd is supposed to make his live-action debut in the DCU Jimmy Olsen series that's being developed, and James Gunn, I am just like begging for one single reference to this. But what do you think? Will any of these love interests make it onto your list of Hear Me Outs? Let us know in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye, nerds!